Chapter 22:13 Yu versus Miter. Meteor's ability was broken, and the huge storm vortex was destroyed in an instant. She narrowed her eyes and looked into the distance, completely ignoring the human coalition forces. Because at this moment she actually saw a human girl slowly falling from the sky. He had long black hair and eyes as calm as still water, which were extremely cold as he glanced at the broken corpses on the ground. But when he looked at Middle, he suddenly became extremely hot. Is this the fine food that Big Brother told me about? Jiangnan region, the strongest fighter in Blizzard City. Nva, Zuyu accepts the challenge. Zhang Yi and Yang Xinxin had calculated everything, so naturally they would not forget the existence of Zuyu. And her ability is exactly the best choice to deal with the goddess of war, Mythil. The destructive power of a mutant who can control the weather on the battlefield is unimaginable. She can even block the entire human coalition for a long time by herself, so she must be eliminated as soon as possible. Call. Zuyu didn't hesitate at all, and transformed into a black stream of light, flying towards Meteor like lightning. She didn't take anyone else seriously. She just wanted to enjoy a good meal. The essence of the black chariot-level silver-armored general is the best food, and the food she desires most. A huge black spear condensed in her hand, and she moved at high speed, approaching Meteor in an instant. Then he aimed a gun at Meteor's heart and stabbed it hard. Middle didn't dodge at all. She was a release-type ability user and was not good at close combat. However, there is no need to dodge attacks of this magnitude. Call. Just as Zuyu approached within 10 meters of Meteor, a huge wave of wind erupted from Meteor's body, forming an invisible wind barrier that rushed towards him. The strong wind blew on Zuyu's body, squeezing her face so much that it was deformed, and her forward movement was immediately curbed. She came very fast, but was knocked away even faster, like a cannonball, flying in the direction she came from. You dare to challenge me without knowing your own limitations? You're courting death. Meteor took a look at the black supernatural spear in Zuyu's hand, felt her fighting style, and already understood something in his heart. A person with abilities that are mainly based on the strengthening system, combined with some other forms of supernatural power manifestation? But that storm just now. Could she control the wind? Then, just don't give her the chance to fight in close combat. Meteor raised his right hand and gently waved it like an orchestra conductor. In the name of the storm. As soon as she finished speaking, the air around her suddenly began to fluctuate violently, as if stirred by a giant god waving a palm leaf fan, and then quickly formed more than a dozen huge tornadoes. Go, kill her, Miter ordered. The strong wind followed the direction of her finger and headed straight for Zuyu. Although Zuyu suffered an impact, the wind barrier was not very lethal and was more of a defensive measure, so it could not harm her body at all. Zuyu's physique is of the strengthening type. His body is extremely tough, and his self-healing ability is as strong as a ghost. Seeing Meteor's ability released again, a slight smile appeared on her lips, and she turned around and threw the black spear in her hand at the tornado. The black spear, which was originally less than 2 meters long, continued to grow larger during its flight. When it reached the tornado formation, it exploded with a loud bang. Roar. It was as if a huge ancient beast was roaring. After the dark energy burst out, it turned into a chaotic storm, directly affecting the movement of the tornado. Meteorological capabilities are more about using one's own power to influence the power of nature. So Middle did not create the tornado by his own ability, but created the conditions for the formation of the storm to cause the storm to form. There is a clear gap between the two. The former is more powerful, while the latter is more natural to use and requires almost no consumption. It is precisely because of this that Zuyu can easily destroy the huge tornado. When Middle saw this, there was no emotion in his eyes. She waved her hand, and the storm roared again. She summoned the wind, causing it to begin to condense, swirl, and be filled with destructive power. Boom! From the sky, sharp spirals condensed and formed in the dark clouds, then swirled and fell to the ground. The moment the black storm touched the earth, it turned into hundreds of huge tornadoes. There are no longer any soldiers around the battlefield. Even the soldiers of the Wulwan Empire would be swallowed up by the tornadoes if they were a little closer. No soldiers from either side dared to approach this area. Even the mechanical life forms quickly moved away, leaving a large battlefield for the two. I want to see how long you can withstand my power with your ability. Meteor's tone was very cold. On the battlefield, and on the home turf of the Wulwan Empire, her abilities had a unique advantage. That is, she understands the climate changes here better than anyone else, and can easily trigger various celestial phenomena. You only need to utilize the power of the wind barrier and its soft recoil characteristics to prevent the opponent from getting a chance to assassinate you at close range. Then, she can continue to play with the other person. Boom! Hundreds of tornadoes swept towards Zuyu like a terrifying wall. Everything along the way was destroyed, the earth was shattered, and the fragments of buildings, the bodies of soldiers, and the wreckage of mechanical life forms were swept high into the air. With this terrifying power, it wouldn't take long to destroy a city. This is the terrifying power of nature. Zuyu stood in the air, and when she saw the series of tornadoes sweeping over, there was still no expression in her eyes. She just slowly stretched out her left hand, and her soft and slender palm seemed to contain infinite power, and she just pushed lightly forward. Break! An invisible force burst out, and in an instant a huge hole opened on the tornado barrier. Several tornadoes were destroyed due to the sudden change in airflow. The tornado passed through Zuyu on both sides without causing any harm to her. But this time, Meteor's expression finally changed. It's you. She knew who the girl in front of her was. Because Zuyu has demonstrated several completely different abilities, she only knows one such person. He is the murderous maniac who has killed many high-level aliens in the territory of the Wulwan Empire for many consecutive days. Middle's eyes became even more hateful. She stretched out her hand and pointed in the distance, and the tornadoes that were raging across the battlefield suddenly seemed to have human nature, turning around and slamming towards Zuyu. Chapter 22:14 Zuyu vs. Mitre 2. Boom! It was as if hundreds of spiral blades formed an enormous meat grinder, surrounding Zuyu and then strangling him to death on the spot. It instantly enlarged in front of Zuyu, almost covering all the space in front of her, leaving her nowhere to escape. Zuyu remained motionless. But a moment later, an even more violent and terrifying gale burst out from the meat grinder. The storm swept across the entire battlefield, destroying all the tornadoes in an instant, and continued to surge towards Meteor. Meteor narrowed her eyes. These storms naturally could not cross the wind barrier in front of her. You can also control the wind? What her storm power hates most is encountering aliens who can also control the wind. Because wind is the movement of air, as long as the wind in different directions is used to affect its movement patterns, it will collapse. Zuyu said nothing, but condensed a black spear in his right hand again. Witch's Spear, a weapon that embodies supernatural powers and possesses extreme attack power. Boom! The extremely fast speed caused a sonic boom. Meteor continued to wave his arms in the air, and gusts of wind blocked the two of them. But this time, Zuyu had seen through Meteor's attack. She casually waved her left hand in front of her, and a huge transparent wall appeared before her. Kwankong Nian. Use thoughts to form a barrier that separates space, with powerful defensive capabilities. The power of Meteor's storm attack was not enough to break through the barrier of Duankong Nian, and he could only watch Zuyu getting closer. The distance between the two of them kept getting closer, and soon Zuyu rushed to within 30 meters of her again. Her figure was like a flash of black lightning, and the light and shadow of her body seemed to be stretched out like a hunting black panther, or like a night demon demanding death. However, just as she was about to approach Meteor, a playful smile appeared on Meteor's lips. Idiot! She raised her right hand high, pointing towards the sky, and then pressed it down hard in the direction of Zuyu. Crack! A silver light suddenly streaked across the sky, as if splitting the huge dark sky in two, passing through the northeast to southwest of the sky. The huge silver thunder turned into a long sword and fell from the sky, covering Zuyu. No matter how fast you are, can you be faster than thunder? Midair saw the surging lightning enveloping Zuyu. The power from nature, representing the might of heaven and the most primitive power of awe of intelligent creatures, viciously devoured the girl in black. Zuyu's speed was so fast that she couldn't dodge the attack at all. Her body was like a meteor, swept by thunder, and fell heavily to the ground. Boom! The earth was shaking violently, and the flat battlefield was like being hit by a nuclear bomb. The soil was blown back and flew everywhere, leaving behind an extremely huge pit. Middle floated above the deep pit, with a storm gathering in his left hand and a flash of thunder in his right hand. Did you think my ability was a storm? I'm so sorry. My ability is Son of Weather, and all celestial phenomena can be used by me. Wind, rain, thunder, and lightning, nothing is uncontrollable. To dye my hands is to overestimate your own abilities. When she said this, a sneer appeared on her face. You don't really think that if you act like a rat and do evil things secretly in the Wolwan Empire, no one can stop you, right? In a direct battle, your strength will be exposed without a doubt. Midair was very confident in the power of his attack. Even if he couldn't kill the hateful black-clothed human girl in front of him, he would definitely be able to seriously injure her. Middle's cold gaze swept across the entire battlefield. She decided to kill the human girl first, and then join the front line to destroy the human coalition forces. Now the Wolwan Empire is in crisis everywhere. She needs to maintain order and repel the powerful enemy. But at this moment, the angry and rapid voice of the Eastern City Military District Commander, Bang, came from her communication device. Our intelligence has been leaked. They are very aware of our capabilities, so be careful. Midair was stunned for a moment. Their abilities leaked? Doesn't that mean that everything she showed was actually within the other party's expectations? At the moment she was stunned, a black light came straight towards her like a thorn growing from the ground. Midair gritted his teeth, came to his senses in an instant, and raised the power of thunder in his right hand high. Boom! The power of the celestial phenomena was activated, and the power of the electric charges in the sky quickly gathered, and then condensed into a huge silver thunder sword, slashing down at the black gun. Boom! Thunder flashed by and collided fiercely with the black gun. The collision between the two triggered a terrifying energy fluctuation, annihilating and shattering each other. The silver snake scurried around, wandered across the earth, and fell into a distant city. Just with this one move, countless people were accidentally injured and killed. But the moment this move was released, a silver lightning also exploded behind Midair. Midair's eyes suddenly widened, and a terrifying threat made the hairs on her body stand up. Aha! The lightning struck her directly on the back, sending her flying far away. She was not good at fighting with her physical body, so she was seriously injured after this attack. Although she hastily activated the wind barrier to protect her body, a large bloody wound was still left on her back, and she looked extremely miserable. Mithil rode the wind and fled far away, her body trembling with the intense pain. She injected herself with the medicine immediately, her eyes fixed on the ground. Zuyu slowly walked out from the smoke and dust. But compared to Midair's embarrassment, Zuyu looked intact. Just now, when Midair was using thunder to attack, Zuyu also activated his ability. The same lightning attack was hidden under Midair. So Midair didn't notice the thunder at that time. By the time she found out, it was too late. Zuyu, actually? Midair gritted her teeth, and her originally beautiful face was now full of ferocity. What she wanted to say was that the other party could also control the power of thunder. Zuyu tilted his head and looked at her jokingly. The strength of your ability is that you can control the celestial phenomena, right? You can kill the enemy by using the power of heaven and earth. But I have a question for you. How many celestial phenomena can you control? Several? Or dozens? Midair's eyes gradually widened, and she suddenly had a very bad premonition. With me. We'll try to get you more updates. Please like and subscribe and share the video with your friends. Love you all.